Hey, Cheily, you there? Hi, Cheily. How are you?
All good. It says the host stopped the video for me. You see
I've
me?
upgraded you so you can be on here as well. I just haven't got your video on.
Ah, okay. Awesome.
So for everyone joining us, we're live on Facebook and we've got Cheily, who is our amazing team expert at Facebook advertising, and we're going to share a lot of things today on what's new in Facebook land. We're going to go through interest and emotional targeting and messaging, which will be lots of fun. How are you going there, Cheily, with your camera? Have you got that sorted?
All good. It says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it.
Oh,
That's what
just
it
bear with
shows.
me a sec. Strange.
Yeah. Let me screenshot of what it shows.
Okay, so you're now the host, so you should be able to turn your video on. Try now.
I think it's working just slow. Yes. Do you see me now?
There she is. Hi, Cheily.
Hi. How are you? How is everyone?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Anytime.
I think this is a special treat, and Cheily and I have been talking about doing this for a while. And
Yes.
we're going to do it more often, which will be good.
Definitely.
Now, Cheily, I wanted to go over a few things with you. Cheily, you just come out of doing some new upskilling, which we've got to do often in digital marketing, right?
Definitely. Yes. So it was an online summit I did with Social Media Examiner, which is one of the main blogs and platforms within the social media space. So it was really, really good. I got to learn from the best in the industry. It was like a full week of learning from Amanda Bong, Emily New. So it was just really overwhelming, but exciting at the same time. And I just really look forward to put my knowledge into good use and apply everything that I learned.
Awesome. Who is your favorite speaker for the week?
I like Amanda Bond. She came out with this Instagram strategy with a combination of something that Gary Vaynerchuk already does. It's something about the 0.8085 strategy, which is basically you're giving what he calls your 2 cents. So every day you are supposed to go into the hashtag that your ideal customers are using, and you're gonna just like engage with those people and just leaving comments, leaving likes, something like really genuine to just like to actually socialize in all those social media platforms, especially Instagram, and then you can create a targeting campaign in Facebook. So what it does is you can even use it with $1 a day, and you're going to just show more of you to the people who already interacted with your brand. You are going to create like a custom audience based on the last 30 days interactions, which you are already doing with the hashtag. And then with the ads, what you're gonna do is show them a new side of you. So it can be a podcast that you did, a feature, or it can be like a content piece or something that builds your authority, so they start seeing more of you and trust you, and only then you will show your offer, or you can establish like a conversation about whatever it is that you're selling. But first you need to establish that initial trust, and it can be done with $1 a day, which is amazing.
That's really amazing. We might workshop that one day on one of these
Yes,
calls.
definitely.
Today's call, and for any of our students, if you want later, we can post the names of the people that Cheily recommend to follow on social media as well, who we feel are the social media giants and leaders sort of in the industry, because they
Yeah, definitely.
follow. And so today's training, we're really going to talk about interest targeting, and then we're going to talk about one of the new things that we're playing with in the Second Chance agency that you've brought on board, Cheily, which is emotional messaging. So
Yeah.
let's just start with interest targeting. And for those that don't know what it is, I guess my first question to you is what is interest targeting and why do we do it?
Okay. So basically, whenever we run an advertising campaign, we don't want to target everyone. Like we want to be very mindful on who we speak to because we have a certain budget. We want to be careful with that. So with interest targeting, we are going to choose the right people. So for example, you are an insurance company and you want to, you are selling car insurance or you are selling life insurance. So you want to make sure that first, your age group is in the right, like the right interval. But second, that the person is actually going to be interested in that. So it's not worth to show the ad and waste your money into someone who doesn't have a car. They're selling insurance for cars and they don't have it. Or you want life insurance, but they don't have any kids. So it's like trying to select the right interest. Also, other thing you can do is, for example, you are a fitness coach. So you can select. Not everyone is interested in fitness. Maybe some people are. It's just not their lifestyle, but that's something you can choose in Facebook. You can choose, for example, someone who follows a certain yoga pants brand or a certain fitness coach guru or maybe a book about the subject. So that way, when you show your ad, that audience is already interested on what you're selling.
Awesome. I want to pull you up there because I feel like that's a really important note. Is have you noticed how Chile is saying that it's not just broad, because that's what I would call lazy marketing. If I was just to type in interested in fitness, where you've dived deeper in there and you've put in like the legging brands and things like that, that really only someone that's genuinely interested in that would be following those sort of things and have interest in that. So once you set this sort of interest up in Facebook, so you do that in the ads manager, is that correct?
Yes, you do that in the Ads Manager, but there are two ways to do it. So what most people do is they just create the campaign, they just start creating the ad set, and they just start putting keywords, fitness or yoga, and those are good, but they are too broad. Because at the end of the day, fitness, like almost 80% of people is interested in fitness in at some point or at some level. So it's just gonna make your targeting still very broad. Or same thing with yoga. You don't want to use interest that is very broad, like beauty, for example. You want like a beauty a makeup brand and you put beauty as a targeting is very broad as well because at the end all women are interested in beauty. So what you want to do is go into audience insights and I will share my screen. I will show you how to do it because it's a really cool trick that you can do.
Yeah, I think that'd be good because 80% of marketing is rolling up the sleeves and giving it a try as well. So if you want to share your screen, that would be awesome.
Yes. Do you see my screen now?
I do, yes. So just
Okay.
explain for people that are very new, we've got people that are doing this all the time, and some people have never seen what you're on at the moment. So you're in Business Manager on Facebook, is that correct?
Yes, exactly. I'm a business manager, but I'm in audience insights. This is something that you can access from here. Like it's one of the shortcuts, and it's gonna take you to this page. And from this page, what you're going to do is you're going to select first a broad targeting, a broad interest targeting, based on the location of your target audience, the gender, and the age. And from there, what Facebook is going to do is show you specific pages, specific likes of those people.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say that you want to sell something in Australia for women between 25 and 45 here, and you want to and then you start putting you have to remove your page so this data doesn't because it's something new, like it doesn't have to be related to what you're already offering.
That's an important point to make. You must remove the page.
Yes, you have to remove. That's why it was not in there. You have to remove the page first, and then you start putting your interest. So let's say you want to sell yoga mats, so people are interested in yoga. Yoga is a very broad subject, so that's what you're gonna put here. Put here yoga, and from here you're gonna see you're gonna see like all these page likes starting to change. So now you know that people who are interested in yoga like certain pages. So
How
they
cool
like
is that? So you don't need to
Pablo.
do the research yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So love and cares and all of these. So and specific pages like Fit Chicks and Nourish Life is and you can use all of this directly into your ad set. And it's gonna be better than just using the word yoga.
Do I need to type that in or do I just click it to add one?
I aim to type it in because what I suggest is not everything will be right for what you're selling. You want to make sure that every single page that you're using actually relates to your audience. Because, for example, they might like yoga, but some of these pages are about makeup because those are two things that go along, or sometimes it's like a food service. So you have to choose the right categories. For example, this one, or for example, beauty and cosmetics, because there are others like hotel resort or writer that doesn't make sense for what you're selling.
Mhm.
So it's good to choose the right categories. And from there, you will go to your, um, let's say you're creating a new campaign, and it's just from the same targeting in the ad set. I will show you.
So right now, what you're talking about is the target avatar. So usually, just to
Mhm.
explain our process, usually when Chili's setting up an ad set for us, we'll give her the target avatar, the location, their behavior profile, and then it's really easy because we've done the research for her then to go in and do the interest targeting based on that information. So for someone that hasn't got that profile yet, they need to do that first, then they come here and set the ad up, correct?
Exactly. Yes, because ideally, before you start any marketing campaign, you have to truly understand your audience and your target market and create the right avatar for it.
Awesome. All right, so now we've selected our interest. How many? Is there a rule to how many I would add?
I will suggest to start at least with 10, and from there you start like creating more. Because other thing is that not every interest will be available. Sometimes the pages are too broad, or sometimes are very new. Like here you have more information than what you can actually put, but you can still start. So you can select 20, and from there you got 15 because
Okay.
that's what is available. So it's a really good ratio.
I think a lot of students and a lot of people will be shocked by putting 10 interests. I think a lot of them do one or two. So that's an
Mhm.
awesome tip. Okay,
Yes.
so once we add those, can you add a couple in there so they can see how that looks?
Sure. Let me go to business manager. Actually, I have it here. This one. So
So right
let's.
now, just talking them through what we're looking at, we're in Ads Manager.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So this the is a difference. This is the business manager, and the ads manager is when we actually like create the ad. In the business manager is what you create when you have an agency or you are going to perform like create ads for other people. So you want to have like a hub for all those accounts. And this is what we call the business manager. And from here you have access to the business settings, which is how you access the people who are in your team. You can add new companies, or you can access the billing part. So it's more about the hub of everything in your agency. Now, and here are the ad accounts. So let's say we're going to use this one, for example.
So it's really important to set it up in your ads account,
Yeah.
not just do a post on Facebook and boost it because you can't do interest targeting, correct?
Exactly. Okay, so here is the actual ads manager. This is where you're going to create your campaigns. And for order to always remember is that at the top, it says actually here ads manager compared to this one that only says home.
Great.
And that's it. So let's create a sample campaign. And you can use this for any type of campaign also. Like even if it is a traffic campaign, a conversion campaign, whatever it is, you can just use it.
It's pretty simple. And right now, just as you're doing this, you would have seen just gone through account, make sure you've got it on the currency from um,
Yes, definitely.
your currency because often it'll set to American.
Yes. So here we are now in the ad set creation phase of your campaign, and this is the detailed targeting. This is where the magic happens. So basically, what you're going to do is you are going to, after you have selected your targeting, let's say that we choose lose baby weight because you know that's a person who went through pregnancy and wants to like get in shape. We will put here, there is no result. So you have to keep trying. Same with, let's say, with chicks.
We're winning.
Okay,
Oh, this is
there's another one.
this is good that it's doing this live because then they can see when they do this themselves, it happens. I think try, yeah, the Body Shopper doTERRA because if you're into yoga, you're into natural sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, here we see. And sometimes you will have it per country. In this case, we don't have Australia like specifically, but you can choose the most general one. If you don't have Australia, go for the general one.
Right.
And let's try mm, Fitbit, which is like a wristband or something.
And you'll notice as Chili's putting these in, the audience size to your right is changing.
Yes, exactly. So you have to make sure that this part over here right now is still too broad. So you want to make sure it's in the middle or like over here. Don't go for the red and don't go for the over here. If I
That's
choose woman and change the age, it's
why
gonna
is that,
be
Chili? Because a lot of people feel like if it's reaching more and it's really broad, they're going to do better. But that's not really the case, correct?
correct. Because like I mentioned before, you don't want to show your product to everyone. You want to show your products to whoever is going to be most interested in your products. So if you are making it too broad, that's a sign that your targeting is not specific enough. So right now, like for example, the interests that I chose are still very broad, so I need to go deeper and create like more. And okay, there are two ways to do it. So I can still keep adding them here, or I can also narrow the audience. So for example, I want people who are interested in Fitbit, but also interested in, let's say, hobbies, because I want moms.
So then we know they're mums.
Mm-hmm. Still broad, let's say something else. Mm.
Try Kmart Lovers Australia. Most mums shop at Kmart in Australia.
No, because I want to try to make it more specific because if most mom would love Cayman Australia, I think it's gonna be it's, it's still too
Still too
broad,
broad.
but we can try. Mm, no, could be C40.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just keep adding until you find a like a targeting that is actually in the middle. Right now, like you mentioned before, you need to have between 15 and 20. We're not going to go over the whole process now because it takes some time. But now you understand like how it works. And like I mentioned before, not all of this targeting will be available as you are watching. But the idea is to find the best ones. And also here you can see which ones are the ones where the most likelihood and the highest relevance. So you have like all of these options, but these ones are the most relevant. And also you can see here the location of these people, like which city are they located, which type of uh, activities, so for example, like the device they're using, the page likes, all of that. And finally, the demographic. So, for example, they are all married, they went to college, and they are interested in these job titles. This is gonna make your search a lot easier. And this is great because you're understanding your avatar, you're understanding your audience.
Exactly.
And this is a key piece for your emotional targeting, which is something we're going to explain after.
Yes. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so basically, emotional targeting is a way for you to sell to your audience using emotions first and features later. And why is that important? Because that's going to lower your cost per lead and your cost per conversion. And why that happens? Because we as humans, when we buy something, we usually don't make the decision to buy because of rational reasons. We connect with an emotion first and then we rationalize a decision. Let's say that I bought a scooter. I didn't buy it because the wheels are X diameter, or because they go super fast, or because like the handles has like cotton, something like that. No, those are features. I didn't bother for it. I bought a scooter because I want to use it on the beach. I want to hang out with my friends. Like there is an emotional connection with the product, and that's what people think first before buying anything. And whenever you go the features all day, then people are just to glaze over your ads, and they are not going to actually like connect what you're selling.
So
And hmm, yeah.
how does that relate to a Facebook ad? Is that we're doing that in the copy? Is it in the image? How do we get to people's emotions through a Facebook ad?
Well, it's both. So imagine Coca-Cola or Nike. What do? They don't tell you about the type of materials or the ingredients. They show you an image that you are connecting with first. Maybe it's an image of people drinking Coca-Cola at the beach. You are connecting with emotion, or people running in the first marathon, or with their Nikes. It's just like they will show you an image first that is related to the product that you can connect with it right away. And then they will accompany that image with a certain phrase, but it's very succinct, very short, and you can just read it and connect with the other one. That's what we're trying to emulate. And that's something that has been working for years. It's just that for some reason, whenever we see online marketing, there is such like a disconnect. For example, when Coca-Cola and Pepsi started their fight, one of the main keys in winning those fights is they started using emotional connection. Like, and that's what you see now. That's what you see all the time. And that's what ideally we would like to emulate in our Facebook campaigns.
And we've been talking in the company, the emotional connection, it can start with the image as being a raw image. We don't want something that looks like an ad or professional anymore. Is that right? So people relate to that.
Exactly, because we have to understand at the end of the day, those are, all of these are social platforms. They go there to connect with their friends, with their family, with people they know. And if they start seeing all of these super like touch up pictures, or like very like you can see right away there is an ad. You can see their eyes glazing over. Like people can tell it's an ad before even reading because they just see it right away. And ideally we don't want that. We want to like first kind of confuse them, like is this an ad or is it like something like a friend post, something related to that. Like for example, you can show like your a mom with three kids in her yoga pants. That's something like a candy photo that when you see it you are interested because like it's like a mom with three kids, how she does it. But at the end of the day it's an ad, and the copy has to connect the image with the story. And I know it's a little bit like a confusing concept because like how do you do that? One way to see it and picture it is imagine your audience and your buyers in a hero's journey. Whenever you watch a movie, whenever you hear a story, there is in every hero's journey there is always the main character and a challenge.
Yeah.
So that's what your audience is, your customers, the people who are going to buy for you. That's how you have to picture. Okay, my audience are yoga moms who likes yoga. What is their challenge? Some of those challenges could be they need to find a space to yoga. They need to balance their workout time with taking care of the kids. They need to balance having a work on for or work on for home. They're like struggling with all these things, all these challenge, and that's what you need to uncover. You need to find a way to discover and to really understand that. Because, for example, what I was showing you before is very general, it's very demographic. Okay, you understand what they like, what page they are interested to, but it doesn't connect with the feeling. The
Exactly.
emotional targeting is like the missing link.
It is the missing link. You can have all the interests right, but if it's not the right message, it's not going to convert. So, have you got an example of an ad you've done that's an emotional?
Yes, let me show here for our agency. So, for example, in our agency right now, we want people to join our academy. At first, we were focusing on the reviews, so we were focusing on it has a it has 6 months course. We were focusing on the features a lot. But now what we can do is create like first the message that we're using and also the way we connect with them. Why will they want to actually join this course? Like why is it something that will interest them? For example, here, close this.
We have a lot of ads, so she's just
Yeah.
flicking finding all the time.
Definitely. Okay, so for example, this one. Uh, uh-huh.
As you were flicking through, they would have noticed some of the ones that you were talking about before that were features and benefits. The lead cost per lead in that right hand corner there where it says cost per results, they were ranging between anywhere between 17 and $30, which is still good. As a marketing agency, we like anything around the $20 mark. But you'll notice here when Cheily takes you through these ones, your cost per lead have dropped significantly. You got some for $12.45, and they've been getting them quite low lately. So explain to us this.
Okay, so basically, what I did here, the first thing I did was, okay, look, what are people commenting? Like, what are their fears, concerns? What are the struggles and all of that? And luckily, we have a Facebook group that where people comment and tell us like their stories. They tell us like their struggles and all of that. So that initial research allowed me to find like what words were they using, how they were communicating, what were like their main challenges. And from there, I use um, several stories from that. But and I tried and I can show you like here, for example.
So she's tried different ones, but the most popular we found was the 2020 goals. Was, oh, you can show them that one, the one with
Yeah.
Adam. Yeah, that's a good example of a natural photo.
Okay. Okay. So this one, like, is really nice because as you can see, it's a really candid photo. It's just a couple in love, like you can just see in your feed any day. And when you see that, you wouldn't even know it's an ad. But then you start reading, and then you got curious, and then you start to see like the entire story. And then you start to get curious because you saw something unfamiliar. Okay, who are these people in my feed? But then you read the full story, and just like a nice intro to what we do and why it's important and all of that. So here, if when you read, let the post. This has like a little story, like Sam was actually like being very honest, like showing everything, like telling us like how her thing was just asking her for more information, all of that. And at the end, we mentioned the academy. So it's like, okay, now you know what we were preparing, now we know you know the value, now here's what we do. It's similar to imagine like a circle, start selling. You need to sell with three components. It's the wow, so the why, the how, and the what. So the problem is that most people start with the what, then with the how, and then the why. We're supposed to like inverse the process and start with the why, which is the emotion. Then how do we do it, and then what is it that we're selling?
Okay.
So that way people can connect better with their ads.
So the why, the what, the how. Love it. And you can see a really clear example there of that. You know, you've kind of dug them in straight away there, and then it goes through it. And I think that's a really nice way. Yeah, show them this one. It's a really nice way to communicate with your audience. And without, I think a good way to market to someone is so they don't feel sold to. They feel like they've really dived into this and feel connected to it. And that's where the emotional advertising comes in.
Exactly. So, for example, this for this ad, we got a really good cost per lead. We were using this picture before, and the main thing we changed was the headline and these initial sentences. And as you can see, I'm not talking about the agency first. I'm talking about what they want. They want to start the new year. We only have 100 days left. They want to start with a better income. They want to start with bigger goals. They want to like actually achieve what they like those income goals. And first, you need to like understand like why people want that. Use the words that they were using. Like for example, this phrase I took it from the group. Like some people who joined the course were saying, "No, I really wish it, I joined this course because I know it would help me reach my 2020 goals before the year ends." So it's something like to be used, and the more you understand it, the more your audience, the more you can use it.
And
And also another thing, so another thing to notice is that I'm calling fellow houses because whenever you feel like something is about you pay attention first.
yeah, I think you've highlighted some really big points. You've got a call to action. I know I'm reading this because I'm Australian, and you've hit my pain point of reaching my 2020 goals. But a big thing I want to highlight that you do is you do the market research. So you've gone into groups, you've interacted. You need to actually do this first to be able to come up with the copy for the message. And I feel like a lot of us don't do that. So often I say to students, you know, do the research, jump on a phone to a few people if you need to and ask them these questions, create that group, get the curiosity to come up with this. I mean, it sounds so small, that little tweak of finally reaching your 2020 income goals, but our cost per lead dropped how much? Is this one the one that's costing us $4 something?
No, that was a marketing one. This one was 12.
$12. But
Yeah.
originally it was, how much was it before? It was
It
before.
was 22 our usual. So it
So
dropped like $10 just with a single ad.
that's huge just by changing the copy. It's a massive difference and a big win. And I did want to show that to our students. Guys, if you've liked today's training, I'd love to keep Cheily on all day because as you can see, she's a wealth of knowledge. But we're going to do it each week. So I want you to give us some likes and some comments. This is Chili's first time on, and we love her in the agency. So do feel free to ask questions. That's what we're here for. And I just want to summarize what we've kind of learned today. So today we've gone over a few massive points that you need to nail in your marketing campaign. To me, I think there's no point doing a Facebook ad if you're not doing interest targeting. It doesn't make sense to me. You need to be detailed. And Chili's gone through and she's shown you how to do that now. So you've learned what interest targeting is. You've learned how to do it, which is an awesome tip how you've gone through on Business Manager and broken that down for them. without having to do a lot of research there. And then she's really talked about, and it's married together with emotional marketing and how you've got to get the why, the how, and then the what in your ad copy to drop the cost per lead. Cheily, thank you so much. Is there one final tip or anything you have to say to our learners?
Don't forget to do the market research.
Love it.
Thank you for having me. I will see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
You too. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy.
Bye.